good afternoon, everyone. So today's webinar is about WMS applet. So WMS is referring to Warehouse Management System. So during this seminar, I'll be covering these parts. First, I'll start with the introduction. Then I'll go to the menus of the applets. Meanwhile, I'll be also doing the demonstration from the applet itself. So there are a few menus in the WMS applet. And towards the end of the session, we'll keep some time for the Q&A. So first, let's discuss what is WMS. WMS Applet is a cloud-based warehouse management system to optimize warehouse operations, improve inventory accuracy, enhance order fulfillment process, and support future scalability. So the goal of this WMS Applet is to optimize the warehouse operations, then enhance the inventory accuracy, improve order fulfillment, and also ensure scalability. So now for the WMS, we have a few menus. So the first one is the warehouses menu. So from this warehouse menu, we'll be first creating the nodes to make up the warehouse floors that can be set from the node setting tab. The nodes can be used to construct the warehouse floor layout using the parent-child relationship. So for this warehouses menu, let me demo it from our applet itself. So initially when we'll be opening the WMS applet, we'll have our warehouses menu over here. We can see or the user can view the warehouse listing by default. From here, they can create new warehouses. And in order to manage a previously created warehouse, user can click on this. So after creating the warehouse, the nodes can make up the warehouse floors that can be set from this node setting tab. So here we can see the listing of the nodes. So if we click on it, then we can see the details for any node itself. And then the next thing is the layout tab. So these nodes can be used to construct the warehouse floor or the layout using the parent-child relationship. So here we can have our layouts for this warehouse. So going back to the slides, the next menu is the inbound process. Under inbound process, there are many sub-menus, but mainly I'll be discussing about the receiving dock, the put away list, and the put away processing. So the receiving dock sub-menu serves as a warehouse GRN for the incoming goods. The incoming goods or line items can be pulled in from existing generic documents such as purchase order. This generic document line can be split by a specific quantity for the auto allocation to the containers. Next, for the put away list, like when there's a receiving doc finalized, the line items are converted into the processing queue, and the processing queue submenu allows the line items to be organized into specific containers, and then the user can plan those containers into specific spaces. So let me demonstrate it from our system. So here we have our inbound process. Under inbound process, we have receiving doc, receiving line, processing queue, put away list, put away processing, and scan session. Yeah, so here we have our receiving doc listing. So let's say in the put away list, when the containers are planned, they will appear in this put away list, which will serve as a report for all the planned warehouse containers. And then we'll have our put away processing. So when the containers are planned, they appear in the put away processing queue along with the put away list. So this queue shows us which container are planned for allocation and waiting to be physically allocated. Then next I'll move to the space container allocation. So for this space container allocation, listing provides the details of the actual spaces where the containers are planned in the warehouse. From this menu, the users are able to create the allocation manually by entering the scan codes of the container or the spaces. So if we refer back to the applet itself, so here we have our space container allocation listing. Yeah, so from here they can scan the code, they can key in the container name, the space name, and the space description if what, and then they can click on next session in order to proceed. So the next part is the outbound process. Similar like inbound process, we have a few sub-menus under outbound process. So when sales order is finalized and sent to the pick pack queue, it can be sent to the warehouse picking queue from the financial pick pack queue. From the picking list, the user can create from the picking queue, sorry, from the picking queue, the user can create the picking list. And when a picking list is created, the system will auto-generate the picking sequence listing, which provide the suboptimal order in which good can be picked up from the warehouse shelves for better efficiency. And then where a warehouse employee picks the goods from the sequence, they can scan the good picked and they can add to the cart. So once picking is done, a discrepancy report between the cart and line items can be generated. So now if I refer back to the applet itself, so here we have our outbound process and we have three submenus under outbound process, which are the picking queue, the picking list, and the packing list. So as I mentioned earlier, from this picking queue, when a sales order is initially finalized, then it will be sent to this pick pack queue. And then from the pick pack queue, it can be seen from this warehouse picking queue, from the financial pick pack queue. Next, in the picking list, let's say I click any of the picking list, then we have our main details, the lines, then the picking sequence, also this add to cart. We have the the discarded cards as well. So from here it can be restored to the add to cart, and we have another tab for the outstanding product. Now, if I go to the packing list, so this packing list is generated from the picking list using the cart items as the lines over here. So if I go inside, okay, so this one don't have. Let me check for another one. Yeah. So we have the lines and we have the packed products as well. So this list shows the goods that need to be packed at the packing station. As the user packs the good, they can do another round of scanning when they're creating the pack list of goods. So the packing list can be converted to a delivery order, both like consolidated or the batch by batch, like we allow both of those. So after the outbound, we have the containers over here. So these containers, they don't have any sub menu. So these containers menu will allow the user to create, update, or delete the warehouse containers, those used for storing the item. Then the last one is the pickers. So these pickers will allow to key in the employee records to be marked them as a warehouse pickers. So if I refer back to the system, then in the applet we have the containers. Okay, yeah, so here we have the warehouse containers listing. So we can create a new listing as usual by keying in the details. And the last one is the pickers. So from here we can record the pickers. We can search for the warehouse and then we can select the employees that we want to add as a picker over here, and then these fields we can also fill in and just add them as a pickers. So that's the high level overview for this WMS applet. So may I know if there's any question? If no question, then we can end today's webinar. Thank you, everyone.